We were on old technology. We didn't have high growth. And what we needed to do was create a future that otherwise would not have happened. And not to be too kind of melodramatic about it, but we seriously did it on this formula. When I came in, I had to remind the organization what it took to take risks, to embrace what we didn't know, to make promises that we didn't know how to keep, and then to spend every second living up to our word. And that really has been our formula for transformation over the last 9.5 years. We've been very, very anchored on culture, and we use a lot of metaphors and symbols. Project Heisenberg, I'll talk about in a minute, was an example of one of the great projects that we put in place. But if I were to oversimplify our journey here, this is 10 years and change. Back 2011 is when I started. There's some fundamental things that we did to transform the business, which then was 25 years old. And you can see just, a little bit of a view on our financials. From a revenue perspective, we've seen significant growth as of late, and we're profitable. We're 89% recurring revenues today. But it didn't look like that at the beginning when I joined. And the invitation I had then was actually to start with culture. We wanted people to be inspired every day that they came into the office. We wanted to give them control of their destiny and authorship of the destiny. And I focused very much in the beginning on getting in the hallways, listening to people's ideas. We recasted our values, my favorite being around authenticity. And together, we scripted out a new path for the future. We brought on a true multi-tenant cloud technology right within my first 3 months. And I remember having to fight a lot of antibodies. Auditors didn't do cloud back there in the olden days of 2012. And so we had to be really creative with our compensation models and with our value proposition to facilitate its adoption. And, as we got those two things right, employees starting to believe in the destination and our technology starting to give credit to our goals. In 2014, we actually transformed our business model. Now, perhaps many of you are already on a recurring subscription model type business platform, but if you're not, I'd strongly encourage you to consider that early. I had to take a business that was perpetual and very, very established in 130 countries, and we converted it to subscription in 1 year. And that was probably one of my most remarkable experiences because we took something that was around $35 million at the time, and we played roulette with the profit and loss statement. We proactively went into a 2 to 3 year journey where we purposely deferred revenues, meaning we lost revenue. We lost, a lot of predictable revenues, and we bootstrapped that, knowing that if we could get to the other side, we would drive a very strong level of forward growth. And we did indeed see that growth manifest itself in our very first investment in 2017, where we brought in $50 million from a US-based investor called Norwest. And with their great partnership, they were a very, very good match for our culture. We rebranded the business to Galvanize, and we became very acquisitive. We actually acquired over time technology. We acquired geography. We pretty much bought our Asia business, today 1,000 customers. We acquired talent in a usability team, and we also acquired brand and go-to-market capability in the cyber risk space in particular. And through those changes, we were able to double our business between 2017 and 2020 and entered COVID. We were very resilient because of the culture, technology, and business model transformation that we put in place. And we're heads down looking at the path to double the business again, and started getting an enormous amount of inbound from investors looking to put their bets behind our business. And I wanted to describe that experience a little bit more. But before I do, this is just an illustration of our journey over the better part of 10 years. When I started, we weren't even on the page. This is an analyst report. This is Forrester. We live in the governance, risk, and compliance category. So not to be seen. So you can imagine how gratifying it is to be up there in the top corner, as a fiercely proud Canadian headquartered but global business, to be above the pack amongst many substantial competitors was the culmination of all of those changes that we made, and certainly was one of the reasons why in 2020, COVID year of all years, we started getting a significant amount of inbound interest. Surely many of you will be in that same situation very soon, given the talented audience here. I can maybe reflect on some of the things that worked really well for us in this past year en route to our $1 billion US sale to a company called Diligent. First of all, we had a one-page strategic plan. I'm delighted to share that with anybody that wants to see it. It's one of the things I'm most proud of. It captures our values, vision, mission, our moat, and our priorities, and it gets everyone on the same page. We had number 2, a heat map, $1 billion heat map, a very anal, methodical, visible, multi-year path to achieve that valuation that looked at employee, customer, market, and financial targets. And third, we got really good at telling our story, and we told it just the way we talk. We were true to our values. We were authentic in delivery, and we gained a track record of saying what we were going to do and doing what we said, and that made us attractive to a lot of folks that we met over time. We created choice. We courted investment bankers from the point of the IPO path, should that be the one we chose. We had an enormous amount of private equity, and therein we're looking at that point to look at investing to additional investment to drive more acquisition. And on a very, very selected basis, we actually courted strategics, companies that might buy us. And while it certainly actually wasn't my first choice, we did meet a company called Diligent, a company that provides software for boards. And if you know much about the risk space, unfortunately, professionals like auditors don't always get the audience that they deserve at the boardroom table. And with this acquisition, our customers now have access to the iPads of 700,000 of the world's most influential boardroom directors and leaders. So it is, in our opinion, a marriage made in heaven. And certainly, my responsibility at the end of the day was to seek an outcome that was in the best interest of our customers. And we're really, really excited about this transaction, which, as I mentioned, just closed 2 days ago officially. So, as you step back at this, we have 500 employees. There's 300 of us here in Vancouver. And, in those first few days when I joined, we had this mission to be the most trusted billion-dollar software company in the world, and nobody believed it. And it's incredible here to be looking at this billion-dollar US outcome, one of only 20 in Canada tech, the first ever led by a female. And to remarket the journey, we were just normal people. We had integrity of intent. Employees authored the destination. We did stuff that was scary, that was no template for. We believed in each other, and we were relentless in seeking this outcome. And so it's with a tremendous amount of gratitude and pride that we share this moment with the Canadian and certainly the BC tech scene. And while we will lose obviously our Canadian headquarters, what's really cool about this is hundreds of employees literally now have the experiential and even the financial means to incubate the next generation of technology here in BC and Canada. And I can't wait to see what happens next.